A crazy king makes his queen stand every morning and takes out 100 arrows from her nose ring and asks if there's any brave man like me on this earth. The poor queen says, "No, Maharaj, there is no brave man like you." Time passed. Once the queen's mother came to meet the queen. When she saw the queen's condition, her eyes filled with tears. She said, "Daughter, what is this condition you are in? You have become like a completely dry wood. Do you have some disease? Is someone troubling you? Or are you not getting food on time? What is the matter?" Now how could the queen tell her mother about her sorrow that the king makes her stand every morning and takes out 100 arrows from her nose ring? With each arrow her heart almost comes out. If she moves even a little or the king moves even a little, she will die. But when the mother repeatedly pressurized Rani and asked her, Rani said, "What should I tell you, mother? There is no shortage of anything. The food reserves are full, there is good drinking water. Then what is the matter, daughter?" This time when the mother held Rani's hand and asked in a very crying voice, Rani broke down and expressing her pain said, "Mother, your son-in-law Raja takes out 100 arrows from my nose ring, which makes my heart tremble. Every arrow coming towards me seems to be the last arrow of my life. This thought keeps eating me up inside all the time that today is your last day, today is your last day. Only because of this worry, nothing can go down my throat." Rani's mother said in surprise, "What are you saying, daughter? When did this happen?" Rani said, "Mother, don't ask when it happened, ask when it did not happen. Every morning Raja makes me stand and first of all takes out 100 arrows from my nose ring, only then he starts his day." The queen said, "Do you say anything?" The queen said, "Yes, mother, they say that there is another man like me on this earth." The queen's mother thought for a while and said, "Daughter, don't worry, tomorrow when he asks you like this, tell him that there are many men in the world, if not at home, then there are many outside. Go out of the house and see the lion." The queen's mother said this and went to her house. Now the queen was just waiting for the next morning. The king held the sleeping queen's hand and woke her up and said, "Queen, come, it's time." The queen thought, "Oh God, if I can save myself today, then I will say whatever my mother had said." She got up and went to the tiger and stood holding her nose ring. The king, like every day, took out 100 arrows one after the other from the queen's nose ring. The king took out the arrows and said, "Speak, queen. Is there another brave man like me in the world?" The queen gathered courage and said, "Maharaj, there are many brave men in the world, if not at home, then there are many outside. You go out and see the lion." The king said, surprised, "Okay, queen, if this is the case, then give me some food. I am going out to see brave men, let me also see them. Is there any man more valiant than me in this world?" The king set out taking some food and drink. While walking he came upon a dirt road. After walking a little distance he saw a man lying on the side of the road and staring upwards. The king became very curious and when he looked up he saw Shiva Surya. He could not see anything due to the bright rays of the sun and out of curiosity he went to him and asked, "Brother, what are you looking at up there?" The one-eyed man said, "I am watching the dance of fairies in Indra's arena." The king looked up once again. But he could not see anything and his surprise increased. The one-eyed man, concentrating upwards, asked the king, "Who are you, brother, and where are you going?" The king said, "I am Apura, the king of Malva. I am going to see the bravest man in the world." The one-eyed man was very surprised and said, "Then wait for me for a while, brother. While dancing, a fairy's anklet has broken and it is about to fall down. I will take it and go with you to see the brave man." In a short while, an anklet fell down from the sky with a sound of chom. The one-eyed man picked it up and kept it in his pocket and said, "Now let's go, brother, to see men. Let me also see how men are." The king's surprise had no limits. His ego had been destroyed and he was blown away. He thought that you took out the arrow from the queen's nose and thought that you are the greatest man. This one-eyed man is better than you. Even though he is blind in one eye, he can see what is happening in Indra's arena. Now the king and the one-eyed man both set out together to see the men. The king and the one-eyed man had just walked a little further. Ahead, a young man was sitting with a bow and arrow waiting for someone. The king asked him also, "Why, brother, how are you sitting?" The man said, I am waiting for my friend. The king asked, Where's your friend? The man said, I have shot an arrow at a distance of 100 miles. I have gone to get it. On hearing this, the ground slipped from under the king's feet. I stopped the story in between, and for your information, let me tell you that in old times, people did not measure distances by kilometer or meter, but people of that time used to measure distances by miles. 1 kos means about 3 kilometers today. So the young man asked the king and the one-eyed man, Where are you going? The one-eyed man said, Curious to see a man. The young man said, Brother, we will also come with you to see a man. Just wait a little. My friend must be coming with my arrow right now. The king said, He will not come today from 100 kos. It will take many days. The young man said smilingly, No sir, it takes him just 1 hour to travel 100 kos and come back. In a short while, a lame man comes with an arrow in his hand that was shot by the young man. Now if you cut the king, there will be no blood. The king, who thought himself to be a brave man, was now facing one great warrior after another. The snakes were coming out hissing from the hole in which he was putting his hand. A tough man who, despite not having one eye, is watching the dance of fairies in Indra's arena. A young, brave young man is shooting arrows up to 100 kos. A handicapped lame man is only at a distance of 100 kos. With heavy steps the king now moves forward with the 3 of them. While walking they reached a city where a swayamvar of a king's daughter was going on. The condition of the swayamvar was that the queen would be married to the person who would bring a laughing pond and beetle nut from a distance of 50 kos in 2 hours. Out of the 4 only the lame person was capable of covering the distance of kos in minutes. Finally, on the advice of all the 4, the lame person agreed to the condition of the swayamvar. He got ready to fulfill his wish, and as per the condition, he set out to bring Hastap Bol Supari. As per the condition of the queen swayamvar, the lame person started moving in that direction with speed. Where there was a Hastap Bol Supari tree, with his divine speed, he reached that tree in a short time. He broke the supari and put it in his pocket. He thought that there is still a lot of time, why not take some rest? Thinking this, he lay down under that tree to take rest. He fell asleep quickly due to the cool breeze. On the other hand, the anxiety of the 3 was increasing with the passage of time. 2 hours were about to complete, only a little time was left. The young archer said that he never takes so much time, there must be something. The one-eyed man said, Wait, I will see. When the one-eyed man saw, he was sleeping under the tree and a ferocious poisonous snake was coming towards him from the tree to bite him. When he told this to his companions that he was sleeping and a poisonous snake was coming towards him, the young archer said to Cain, You aim my arrow at the hood of the snake. Cain said, Yes, that's right. After taking aim, I will roar and then you shoot the arrow. Cain aimed the arrow in the direction of the snake's hood, and as soon as he said yes, the archer shot the arrow. The arrow went straight to the hood of the snake, and with a thud the snake fell down. Hearing the sound, the lame man got up in a hurry and sat up. He saw that a poisonous snake was lying dead near him and his friend's arrow had hit the snake. It did not take him long to understand the whole matter. He ran towards the city with divine speed. In time he reached the palace with the beetle nut and said Hastap. Now the problem was who had the actual right over the princess. Whose king is this? If Kana had not left home to look for a man, then this whole story would not have started. If Kana had not saved the lame man from the snake by seeing with his divine sight, then how would the condition of the princess's swayamvar have been fulfilled? If the young archer did not have the ability to shoot arrows from 100 miles, then also the snake would have taken his friend 10 times and the condition would not have been fulfilled. If the lame man's husband did not have divine speed, then also the condition of the princess's swayamvar would not have been fulfilled. Who would be the husband of the princess? When they discussed this among themselves, then the king was chosen because this whole story had started with him. But the king told his entire past and said, I am already married, so there is no question of me marrying the princess. I am thankful to all of you for breaking my false illusion. Kana said, I am happy with my fairies in Indra's arena, and anyway, now my days are for remembering the Almighty. It was the turn of the young archer. He told his friend, Friend, you should marry the princess because you followed the condition of the Swayamvar and brought Beetle Nut to the palace as per the condition. Therefore, if seen from the point of view of the condition, you have the right over the princess. Everyone found the archer's words correct and everyone agreed happily. The princess gets married to the lame person. Everyone was very happy. The king invites everyone to his kingdom and bids them farewell happily. He vows in his mind to never misbehave with the queen again. Conclusion: real bravery is not only in external strength but in internal humility, restraint, and understanding the importance of others. King Leopold considered himself the greatest warrior and was blinded by his ego. He used to show his bravery by torturing his queen, but in reality he was trying to hide his inner inferiority complex. He was hiding his emotions and insecurities. During his journey, the king meets people whose abilities are far greater than his. The one-eyed man's ability to see the dance of Indraloch with divine sight, the young archer's ability to shoot an arrow from a distance of 100 miles, and the handicapped man's ability to cover a distance with unparalleled speed. All these incidents make the king understand that this world is a storehouse of matchless and infinite abilities. Every person has some specialty, and considering anyone inferior to oneself is injustice towards him. Ultimately, true greatness and power lies in introspection, giving up one's ego and accepting every person with